everybody recognizes Leah. Seems like a good idea, right?
Oh, for sure. Definitely a good idea.
And so
Where
they're
I would
looking
have started.
around and nobody remembers Leah. But they see this sit-down restaurant in the mall, and it's the only sit-down restaurant in the mall. And Kara's like, Leah would go there if she was hungry. And the police kind of assumed that she must have gone somewhere because when you factor in, so she leaves Oregon around 1 a.m. She drives 5 to 6 hours. That means she gets to Bellingham around, around 7 or 8 a.m. And then the movie's not till 2-ish in the afternoon, 2:10 p.m. So she had several hours to kill. And this is where I think that there might be a completely innocuous explanation to those blankets and jackets over the windows. I'm wondering if maybe Leah killed some time by sleeping in her car after a long drive and put those up to like block out the sunlight or something. And maybe they were just already up when the accident happened and the windows got blown out.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
Just ponder that, think about that. But so Kara goes into this restaurant, and she was, of course, right. The staff remembers Leah. Thank the Lord. Like, finally someone remembers seeing Leah. And this is the first really solid lead they get, and the first people to confirm that they saw Leah in Bellingham, not just a paper trail. Someone physically saw her.
Good.
So the staff remembers Leah sitting at the bar with some customers on either side of her. There was one man on each side of her. And, but she was alone herself. And so they find the first guy that was sitting next to her, and they rule him out. He has an alibi. He mentions that Leah was talking more to the guy on the other side of her, though, and gives them a description of this guy and everything. And the police go, okay, and they set up a tip line, and they kind of try to find the second guy, and they're just trying to find tips and figure out what's going on. And then this second guy happens to call into the tip line and is like, hey, I saw her. I was the second person she was talking to. And they're like, awesome. Can you tell us what you saw? And this guy claims that Leah had left with a third dude named Barry, who had showed up right before Leah had left, and was like, and Leah seemed to know them. They seemed friendly, and then they left together. Mind you, the first guy who had sat with Leah at the restaurant never mentioned this third guy, this third Barry guy. But the second guy who was sitting right next to her, who she was talking to way more than the first guy, and talking to about Jack Kerouac and her journey and how she was traveling by herself.
Stupid. Don't do that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, the police go, okay, sure, there was totally a third guy. Can you give us a description? And the dude's like, oh, yeah, totally. And manages to give them a description, and it's good enough that a sketch gets drawn up. Sketch doesn't go anywhere. It's been 22 years. That sketch has never had a hit. So, I don't know.
Shocking.
Yeah, do what you will with that. But they really, they don't think that this Barry guy is real. I don't think this Barry guy is real.
I don't think this Barry guy is real.
Yeah, because the second guy, he also fled to Canada. So,
What?
second dude now lives in Canada and refuses to come back and be interviewed and won't talk to
Oh,
anybody
he did it for sure then.
and is just chilling up there in the Great White North. So,
Interesting. Very
yeah.
fucking interesting.
Yeah, so that's going on. So Karen and Heath are in town searching for 4 days. They make missing persons flyers and just search and search and search, but no luck is to be had. After they return home, however, a man calls into the tip line with a tip that is eventually deemed credible. This tip's a little weird, so bear with me, and then we'll talk about it. This dude calls into this tip line and he's like, hey, so my wife saw Leah in Everett, which is about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on traffic, away from Bellingham. And it's south of Bellingham. And so it's about, so his wife apparently sees Leah stumbling around a gas station in a state of complete confusion. And when the police try to press him and get his name and get more information, dude clams up and hangs up the phone.
What?
Somehow, the police have to know more than they're telling here, because somehow they deemed this tip credible and they think that this is the last known sighting of Leah Roberts alive.
What?
So they have to know something that we do not know, that they have not revealed.
So, dude claims that she's seen at this gas station an hour or two south of where her car is found.
Mm-hmm.
On what day?
We don't know. That's
don't
literally
say.
the extent of the information we get.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
It's so weird. And however, but like, if she crashed and like, so her car crashes hour and a half away, how'd she get to Everett?
Right.
I have so many questions, but we're going to keep going.
Many questions. This is crazy. Okay, keep going.
So in 2006, the case was passed to a new detective, and he's going through the case notes and he's going through the file, and he discovers that no one ever popped the hood of Leah's car and looked underneath it.
What?
Mind you, they have this car that was going 35 to 40 miles per hour uphill with no one in the vehicle, but they didn't bother to check under the hood to see if anything had been tampered with or figure out how it was going uphill.
How it was driving itself?
They didn't think to do that, but in 2006 they thought to do that. And lo and behold, thankfully they still have the car, because Kara was really smart, and the police tried to give the vehicle back to her back in 2000, and she was like, no, I am a crime junkie. I watch crime shows. I have seen cases get solved years later because of advancements. You keep that car. Keep it. And then
so smart.
Thank the gods. Job. Yeah. Shout out Kara, because she had them keep the car, and because of that, they were able to go like physically check out this car that in other situations would have been scrapped or gone or sold or either way, just not available. And so they go and they look under the hood of the car, and this is when they discovered that the car had obviously been tampered with. The second they open the hood, they're like, oh, should have seen that 6 years ago. Wow. Because what they find is that the wires to the starter relay had been cut. This would have allowed the car to accelerate up the hill without having the gas pedal pressed.
Interesting.
They also find a fingerprint under the hood that is unfortunately degraded because it's been
Fucking
6 years.
bullshit.
And they find male DNA on Leah's clothes. Because they also retest a lot of the evidence, and then during the 6 years, because they're like, oh, we found a fingerprint. We found out how the car's been tampered with. We should look at some other evidence and check this out. And they check out the other evidence, and then they find a previously unknown male DNA profile.
I mean, no wonder these cases don't get fucking solved when you have shit like that. Why would you not? That would be the first fucking thing I would do if I was a police officer. Let's check out what the fuck is going on and how this car was basically driving itself. Like, what the fuck?
I know. Like, what did they do? Look at the car and go, well, I don't know. Do you know, Fred? No, George, I don't know. It was fucking Bigfoot. I knew it. Fuck. But, yeah. So, here's the thing. The guy who saw Leah and had, like, this conversation with her and everything, the guy who had the conversation with her in the restaurant, number 2, who fled to Canada, he's never been named, but his prints and DNA were tested, and they don't match what was found in the vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. That is all that is known. Leah's missing.
That's it?
Leah is missing. No one has seen her in 21 years. There are still searches for her, now with metal detectors instead of dogs to follow her scent, because they are now not looking for remains. They're looking for the metal rod that was inserted into Leah's femur.
I am absolutely mind blown right now that is it.
I know. That's it. What do you think? What are your theories? Hit me with it, because we're going to talk about theories now.
Dude, I don't even know now. But
every
I'm stuck.
Every time you think that you've figured this case out, something that the police are just like, no. Mm-mm.
I am stuck on
this case
of how similar this case is to Maura Murray.
I know.
And it's like right around the same time, too.
I know. That's why, like, when we were recording the Maura Murray case yesterday, because audience, these are going to come out 3 weeks. This is going to come out 2 weeks after the Maura Murray case, Maura Murray Part 1. But we're recording this the day after we recorded both parts of Maura. So, that's why yesterday I was like, oh, this happened in 2000, right? Is because it's so similar to this case, and I was working on this case that I got the two confused, that I was like, I got the dates mixed up.
Crazy similar.
And this case is so not well known. No one knows about this. And I think this one has a better chance of being solved than Maura's because of that metal rod.
But there's more physical evidence as well.
There's more physical evidence.
And
there's suspects.
Where's the cat?
Where's the cat? Because if the cat did survive and gets out of its carrier, it's not. It's a kitten. It's a kitten. It's not going to run into the woods.
They right there.
Exactly. They never find any trace of this cat. They don't find a body. No strays. Nothing.
Okay, so I was definitely going to die on the hill of that she faked her own death. But this is so bizarre.
So there is a theory that because there are rumored sightings of Leah in a cult that is that's like in the area, but like completely removed from society. They have no power. They have no running water, no electricity, blah, 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 no phone, no internet. They're a cult, guys.